The UEFA European Football Championship, commonly known as the UEFA European Championship and informally as the Euros, is the primary association football competition contested by the senior men's national teams of the members of the Union of European Football Associations, determining the continental champion of Europe. The competition has been held every 4 years since 1960, except for 2020, when it was postponed until 2021 due to the COVID-19 pandemic in Europe, scheduled to be in the even-numbered year between World Cup tournaments. It was originally called the European Nations Cup, changing to the current name in 1968. The championships are often referred to in the form UEFA Euro. Prior to entering the tournament, all teams other than the host nations compete in a qualifying process. Until 2016, the championship winners could compete in the following FIFA Confederations Cup, but were not obliged to do so. The 15 European Championship tournaments have been won by 10 national teams. Germany and Spain each have won 3 titles. France has 2 titles, and the Soviet Union, Italy, Czechoslovakia, Netherlands, Denmark, Greece and Portugal have won 1 title each. To date, Spain is the only team in history to have won consecutive titles, doing so in 2008 and 2012. It is the second most watched football tournament in the world after the FIFA World Cup. The Euro 2012 final was watched by a global audience of around 300 million. The most recent championship, hosted by France in 2016, was won by Portugal, who beat France 1-0 in the final at the Stade de France in Saint-Denis after extra time. The final also averaged 284 million viewers, which is the second most viewed game in European tournament history. The idea for a pan-European football tournament was first proposed by the French Football Federation's Secretary-General Henri Delaunay in 1927. But it was not until 1958 that the tournament was started. 3 years after Delaunay's death, in honor of Delaunay, the trophy awarded to the champions is named after him. The 1960 tournament, held in France, had 4 teams competing in the finals out of 17 that entered the competition. It was won by the Soviet Union, beating Yugoslavia 2-1 in a tense final in Paris. Spain withdrew from its quarter-final match against the Soviet Union because of 2 political protests. Of the 17 teams that entered the qualifying tournament, notable absentees were England, the Netherlands, West Germany and Italy. Spain held the next tournament in 1964, which saw an increase in entries to the qualification tournament, with 29 entering. West Germany was a notable absentee once again, and Greece withdrew after being drawn against Albania, with whom they were still at war. The hosts beat the title holders, the Soviet Union, 2-1 at the Santiago Bernabeu Stadium in Madrid. The tournament format stayed the same for the 1968 tournament, hosted and won by Italy. For the first and only time, a match was decided on a coin toss and the final went to a replay. After the match against Yugoslavia finished 1-1, Italy won the replay 2-0. More teams entered this tournament, a testament to its burgeoning popularity. Belgium hosted the 1972 tournament, which West Germany won, beating the Soviet Union 3-0 in the final, with goals coming from Gerd Müller and Herbert Wimmer at the Heysel Stadium in Brussels. This tournament would provide a taste of things to come, as the German side contained many of the key members of the 1974 FIFA World Cup champions. The 1976 tournament in Yugoslavia was the last in which only 4 teams took part in the final tournament, and the last in which the hosts had to qualify. Czechoslovakia beat West Germany in the newly introduced penalty shootout. After 7 successful conversions, Uli Hoeneß missed, leaving Czechoslovakian Antonin Panenka with the opportunity to score and win the tournament. An audacious chipped shot, described by UEFA as perhaps the most famous spot kick of all time, secured the victory as Czechoslovakia won 5-3 on penalties. The competition was expanded to 8 teams in the 1980 tournament, again hosted by Italy. It involved a group stage, with the winners of the groups going on to contest the final, and the runners-up playing in the third-place playoff. West Germany won their second European title by beating Belgium 2-1. With 2 goals scored by Horst Hrubesch at the Stadio Olimpico in Rome. Horst Hrubesch scored early in the first half before René van der Eycken equalized for Belgium with a penalty in the second half. With 2 minutes remaining, Hrubesch headed the winner for West Germany from a Karl-Heinz Rummenigge corner. France won their first major title at home in the 1984 tournament, with their captain Michel Platini scoring 9 goals in just 5 games, including the opening goal in the final, in which they beat Spain 2-0. The format also changed, with the top 2 teams in each group going through to a semi-final stage, instead of the winners.